The following is a presentation of Wareham Gatemen Baseball, brought to you by the Gatemen Baseball Network in conjunction with the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Last summer, the Wareham Gatemen had one of their most successful seasons in franchise history.
Skied out to left field. This ball is way back. See you later, Colton Shaver.
2-1 pitch. That is rocketed out to right field. Back goes the right fielder. That one's gone. An absolute bomb to right field for Gavin Sheets.
But despite their regular season success, the 2016 Gatemen were sent packing after the first round of the CCBL playoffs.
Is this ball fair? It is! Bro comes in to score the game's tying run. McKinnon comes in as well. Bourne has walked off, and Wareham's season is over.
Now, a new season and a fresh start in Wareham. College baseball's finest are coming from all over the country in pursuit of the Gatemen's 8th Cape Cod Baseball League Championship.
Through the infield, coming around to score is Topa. Play at the plate, and Metz is safe too. It's a 2 RBI single.
0-1 count on Luke Bonfield, who swings and drives this one deep to left field. That one is into the trees.
That's sent right up the middle, past the dive of the shortstop, and in for a base hit. Rounding third, heading home is Bonfield. An RBI single for Robbie Metz.
Off speed, throwing back to first base, McIver, and the tag is in time from Sable.
Driven out to right center and deep. This one is gone. Tristan Pompey is second of the night. His second 3-run shot.
Chopped in the infield. Coming over is Pullitz. He doesn't handle the baseball. The run scores. The Gatemen win their 3rd consecutive home opener.
It's Wareham Gatemen Baseball, and you're listening to it live on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
They might be division rivals, but this is the first meeting this season between the Cotuit Kettleers and your Wareham Gatemen. You're listening to Gatemen Pregame Live, presented by South Coast Health. Here on the Gatemen Baseball Network, I'm Sam Corman, joined alongside my phenomenal broadcast partner, Connor Federico. We'll get it over to Jacob Toby in just a second. But the Gatemen coming off a really, really tough loss, probably the most heartbreaking loss we've seen this team handle so far this season. They were up by a score of 4-1 heading into the 8th, was 4-2 going into the 9th, and Falmouth was able to tie it and eventually won that game 8-4 in extra innings. So how does a team like this recover from such a devastating loss? It's still early in the season, however.
Well, Falmouth did to the Gatemen exactly what the Gatemen did to Falmouth 2 Saturdays ago, and that was come back in the 9th inning for the Gatemen. They won that game in the 9th inning on a walk-off, a 3-run comeback. Falmouth put together a 2-run comeback in the 9th, and especially with the 2-out rally the whole time, it's got to be devastating if you're the Gatemen pitching staff. Brett Canine really giving one away right there, and we didn't expect that from him. We know that Brett Canine has phenomenal talent, 14 saves this year for Cal State Fullerton, and then back in the 11th, Riley Gates and Will Neely, the combination of the two pitchers, they give up 4 runs in the 11th inning, making a comeback for the Gatemen unsurmountable, too tall of a mountain to climb. So at this point in the season, the Gatemen, they sit in last place in the division standings, but there's a lot of promise for this team. They're only 6-9. That's not too bad, but we're talking about the difference between 6-9 and 7-8 in that last heartbreaker. It could be a 3-game winning streak. Instead, the Gatemen are trying to snap a losing streak now. So a lot of things coming into play here, and you're playing one of the best teams in the league in Cotuit.
Absolutely, one of the best teams in the league, and we're kind of at a crossroads here in this season as the Gatemen. 5 of the next 6 days, they're in action all 6 days. 5 of the next 6 games against key division rivals, 2 of them which are at the top of this Western Division. Cotuit 2 times, Bourne coming up 3 times, starting tomorrow at home, and then the game against the YD Red Sox jammed in between. So how important are these division games, especially against teams you haven't seen yet, they might not be familiar with yet?
Well, there's been a bunch of games against Falmouth, a bunch of games against Hyannis, 4 of them. We're not sure when we're going to see the Harbor Hawks again, but it'll be late in the season. And, all these matchups against Cotuit are really important. They're in 2nd place. They had a hot start. And then against Bourne, they're leading the division right now. So anytime you can win a game against a team that's leading the division, no matter how far away you are from them, you close that gap, you get yourself closer to playoff contention. And I'd really like to see the Gatemen win at least 3 of these next 5. I think I think 3 of the next 5 is a good goal for them. They have the pitching to be able to do it, including their starter tonight, Miller Hogan.
We'll be back for starting lineups in just a moment, but first we'll toss it to our host, Jacob Toby, who's also the national anthem singer today. Jacob?
Ooh.
Got to mention that, right? Hey, thanks very much, Sam Corman and Connor Federico. Welcome into Gatemen Pregame Live, presented by South Coast Health. Again, my name's Jacob Toby. We are at Lowell Park in Cotuit, Massachusetts. It's the Wareham Gatemen taking on the Cotuit Cavaliers. 73 degrees. Little wind here at Lowell Park, but we're still going to play baseball. It's a nice day out. And let's take a look at the starting pitchers for both teams. First, for the Wareham Gatemen, the visiting team, it'll be Miller Hogan out of St. Louis, 6'2", 200-pound right-hand pitcher, again out of St. Louis. He's made 2 appearances and 1 start on the year so far. No losses and no wins. The 9.00 ERA, 3 innings, no Ks, 2 walks, 6 hits. His last start came June 24th at Falmouth. He only went 2 1/3 innings, gave up 3 earned runs, 4 hits, a walk, didn't strike anyone out. So he is trying to come back from that interesting start. And for Noah Davis, it'll be for Cotuit, Noah Davis, UC Santa Barbara, 6'2", 195. He's made 2 starts on the Cape so far, sitting at a 3 flat ERA, 6 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 8 hits, 4 strikeouts, 5 walks. His last start came on the 24th for the Cotuit Cavaliers versus YD in a 9-2 win. Went 4 innings, 1 earned run, 3 hits, 3 strikeouts, and 2 walks. So it'll be Miller Hogan for the Gatemen taking on Noah Davis and the Cotuit Cavaliers. And now we will send it to our Claudia Chikamian. She caught up with Griffin Roberts.
I'm here with Wednesday starter Griffin Roberts. So Griffin, you had a really good outing on Wednesday night, and you've been continuing to improve every time you've been out there. So what's really clicking for you?
Being able to throw first pitch strikes, I think, is most important for me. Getting ahead in the count early. That way you have the batters on their heels rather than being aggressive.
That's something that I know Coach Sneddon has talked a lot with me about, is the pitchers being able to throw those first pitch strikes and get ahead in the count. So how has Laurie been getting that across to you guys?
It's kind of something that's preached to you with every pitching coach you have. It's kind of the point of pitching is getting ahead. And you'll see when you look at anybody's outing, if they've been getting ahead consistently, they're probably pitching pretty well. So it's kind of just a consensus that pitchers understand and try to strive for.
So how much work do you think you guys still need to get done to get ahead of the count? On Wednesday night, you guys were just 1 strike away from getting that win. So what else can you guys do to make sure you're consistently getting those strikes?
Yeah, I mean, just practicing and working on it in the bullpen, working on it in your throwing, working on hitting your spots, making pitches. Being 1 out away, 1 strike away is tough. Anybody that's closing a game or has closed a game knows it's really tough to do that. The last out's always the toughest. So you just got to be better. You got to work harder, be ready for the next one.
You guys had the off day yesterday. Do you think that helps you guys move on from that loss and a brand new mindset today?
Yeah, baseball's a sport where you have to be able to forget. You got to be able to look out to the next game. You can't dwell or think about the really good outings. You just got to be ready for the next one, good or bad, on to the next one.
And this is the first time you guys are playing Cotuit, so what have you guys been able to notice at all while you're watching BP or anything about their hitters?
I think the one thing I've noticed so far is the wind. It's really windy here, so the ball's flying. So pitchers need to keep the ball down, and hitters need to try to elevate a little bit today, the way the park's playing.
Great. Thanks, Griffin.
The Gatemen got their second off day in 4 days yesterday, and on Wednesday night they were on track to be tied for first place in the Western Division with a win, but bullpen struggles in the 9th inning caused the Gatemen to lose 8-4 in 11 innings. Beginning of the game, though, was exciting as Griffin Roberts was wheeling and dealing early on. Comes the 0-2. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Daniel down quickly. 3 pitches, and he's gone for the first out. Here comes the 0-2. And that's a call strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts. Steinmetz caught looking. 2 gone. Roberts on to a fast start. Aquino waiting the 1-2. Here comes from Roberts. Swung on and missed. He goes right back to the slider, and it'll end the inning. Roberts looks back. Davidson at second base. 1-2 on the inside corner. Bro doesn't like it. He's retired for the first out. That is the 4th strikeout for Griffin Robert. 0-2 to Yancha. Called strike 3. The slider working. 5th strikeout for Robert. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Slider. Called strike 3. 3 straight strikeouts, all looking by Griffin Roberts to end the inning. That strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. They are cooking tonight. 6 strikeouts from Roberts. We're headed to the bottom of the second. Some impressive defense shown by Tanner Dodson as he retired Alec Bohm on a flyout, but that wasn't the end of his fantastic play.
1-1 pitch coming from Roberts. Is sent on a line to center field. Coming over is Dodson. Makes the catch. Will try to tag up the runner at first. And he's out! What a play! Tanner Dodson
Nothing across for the Commodores.
ends the inning with a sensational catch and an even better throw. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Tanner Dodson. W-O-W. Wow.
Bottom of the third, 2 runners on for the struggling Tristan Pompey. He was 0 for his last 15 going into this at bat. He broke out of his slump.
2 balls and 1 strike. Duran at third. Dodson at first. 2 outs in the inning. Pompey sends one out to left field, falling fast. That'll get in 1 run. Pompey breaks his slump. An RBI single for the Gatemen and a 1-0 lead.
Robbie Metz, known for his stellar infield defense, did have an error on the day at third, and it cost the Gatemen as they surrendered their first run of the day.
Runner on second base. 0-1. Chop to Metz at third. Looks back the runner, and the throw is high, and it's over the head of McIver. Rounding third and heading home is Bakina. He'll score easily. Game is tied up at 1. Robbie Metz, an errant throw over to first base.
Ben Baer gets in on the action to get the lead back for Wareham, and then Tanner Dodson adds 2 more runs with 2 outs in the 7th.
And then another time he's coming at your sidearm.
This one through the right side of the infield. Rounding third. Coming home is Metz. The throw. Not in time. Robbie Metz scores. Ben Baird giving his family something to cheer about. 2-1. Dodson to right field. It is fair. Rounding third. Heading home is Topa. Ball still not coming. The second run coming around. Here comes Baird. He's safe. A 2 RBI triple for Tanner Dodson. 4-1.
Falmouth started its comeback in the 8th inning with a Willie Berger RBI double.
Towards the batter. Move it in on the inside.
2-2. Jacked to left field, and it's going to hit the wall. Davidson will easily score from third. An RBI double for Willie Berger. Game now 4-2.
Brett Canine made his season debut for the Gatemen and had 2 outs and was 1 strike away from closing the door, but an error on Jake Anchia, the catcher behind the plate, kept the rally going for the Falmouth Commodores.
And now down to second base goes Steinbreck, and the run will score as the ball goes into the outfield. And now the tying run 90 feet away, as coming home to score was Daniel. 4-3. Bohm sends it into right, and we're tied at Spillane. Can you believe it?
Ben Baird was up with 2 outs in the 9th inning, looking to walk it off for the Wareham Gatemen.
Similar to what the Gatemen did back in the 3rd.
Baird right to O'Neill, and we are headed to extra innings at Spillane Fields. Gatemen can't score in the bottom of the 9th. We've got a 4-4 tie. Catch us in the 10th. What's going to happen?
Well, what happened was after Riley Gates walks the leadoff hitter, he throws a wild pitch to bring the go-ahead run 90 feet away. That would start a 4-run 11th inning for the Commodores.
3-1 from Gates. He will walk the leadoff hitter. Gates looking back. Daniel at second. 2-0. Skips past Anchia. And now Daniel 90 feet away to go-ahead run.
Middle infield's a double play depth.
This one rocketed right past Metz at third. Coming home to score is Daniel. Going to second is Bakina. 5-4 Falmouth.
Defense to me says corners in. They're going to try to cut off a run at home.
And that won't even happen because the runner will come in anyway. Lee Solomon's hit by a pitch. Bohm scores. Another run at 6-4 Falmouth. Base is still juiced. And this one sent out to center field. Coming in is Dodson. He can't make the catch, and it goes past him. 1 run scores.
2-run score. Dotson will throw, and it's cut off. 2 more runs score for the Falmouth Commodores. Yamcha sends one out to center. 8-4. The Gatemen had one last chance for a rally in the bottom of the 11th with a runner on second, 2 outs, and Robbie Metz at the plate. Zephyr-Jean's 1-2. Swung on and missed. Metz goes down swinging, and the Wareham Gatemen, they lose 8-4. They are now 6-1. When the offense scores 4 runs or more, their undefeated streak ends tonight as Western Division foes Falmouth Commodores come into Spillane Field and win 8-4. Tough loss for the Wareham Gatemen. Let's see if they can bounce back today versus the Cotuit Cavaliers. Well, that does it for me on Gatemen Pregame Live. I have a national anthem to go sing. Send it to Sam Corman and Connor Federico after this short break. You're listening to Gatemen Pregame Live presented by South Coast Health.
When you're sick or injured, you want care when and where it's convenient for you. South Coast Health Urgent Care has 4 locations: Fairhaven, Wareham, and now in Seekonk and Dartmouth. You can view wait times and even check in online at southcoast.org/urgent-care. Choose the time and location that's best for you. We'll even remind you when it's time to come in, and walk-ins are always welcome. Urgent care that exists to meet your needs. More than you expected? That's more than medicine. Check in at southcoast.org/urgent-care.
Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen Youth Clinics. The instruction clinics are open to boys and girls between ages 4 and 15. The clinics are a great opportunity to meet and learn from some of the best collegiate players in the country. Clinics are held Monday through Friday, depending on the player's off day. For more information and to sign up your young ball player, visit www.gatemen.org.
All-Star Game Weekend starts with a celebrity softball game on July 21st at McKeon Park in Hyannis. Come watch Jason Veritek, Bill Lee, Nancy Kerrigan, Scott Zolak, and other celebrities play ball in support of the Cape Cod Baseball League and Spalding Rehabilitation Hospital of Cape Cod. Gates open at 4 p.m. For more information and to buy tickets, go to allstarcapecod.org. That's allstarcapecod.org.
Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen High School Clinics. These programs are run by the Gatemen coaching staff with a focus on exposing high school area players to the college game. To sign up for either the hitting, pitching, or catching camps, visit www.gatemen.org for more information.
Welcome back to Gatemen Pregame Live, presented by South Coast Health. My name's Sam Corman. Connor Federico coming up shortly. We'll run through the starting lineups presented by Chatham Bars Inn right now. For the visiting Wareham Gatemen, Kyle Casser's going to lead off at third base. Tanner Dodson's playing DH. He'll bat second. William McIver is catching. He'll hit third. Luke Bonfield's going to hit cleanup. He's in right field. Robbie Metz hitting fifth. He's at second base. John Topa is in left. He will bat sixth. Blake Sable is at first base. He'll bat seventh. Nate Fosnot is at shortstop. He will hit eighth. And Nick Angelini rounds out the Gatemen order at center field. And for the home Cotuit Cavaliers, Grayson Genista is in center field. He'll hit first. Brett Kinnaman is in left field. He'll hit second. Taryn Vavra is hitting third. He is the second baseman. Chandler Avance is at DH, and he'll hit fourth. Zach Cohn is at shortstop. Will hit fifth. John Cresto is at third base. He'll hit sixth. Mike Tolia is at first base. He will hit seventh. Miles Lewis is hitting eighth in right field. And Thomas Dillard, the catcher, rounds out the order for the Cotuit Cavaliers. We will now go to the sidelines where our Claudia Chikamian caught up with Nate Fosnot, making his first appearance since just 8 or 9 games ago.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Nate Fosnot. Nate, this is your first game in almost 8 days, so how's it feel to be back? Is your finger feeling okay?
Yeah, it's feeling a lot better. Just glad to be back on the field.
And how does it feel playing with your teammate, Robbie Metz, who you play with Georgia Washington?
Oh, it's a lot of fun having him up here, just having someone who's been through this before and has the experience up here.
Are you excited you guys are both in the lineup today for your first game back?
Yep, first time in the middle infield, the other two.
So what have you been really working on and hoping you can accomplish in today's game?
Just getting my hitting more consistent.
And this is your first time playing Cotuit, so what have you guys been really working on to take advantage of them since you haven't seen them yet?
Just keep working on the execution part of the game, just not trying to do too much.
You guys weren't getting a lot of those timely hits on Wednesday night's game, so what did you guys really work on in batting practice today to make sure you're getting those timely hits so the game doesn't come down to the final out of the inning?
Just trying to slow the game down and bring our energy level to a point where we're not trying to do too much.
Great, thanks Nate. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Claudia. The Gatemen Baseball Network would like to remind you that you can contact us anytime by emailing pressbox@gatemen.org, pressbox@gatemen.org. Please feel free to send us questions, comments, or concerns, and we'll make sure to address them as soon as possible. Also, make sure you're keeping up with all the Gatemen action 24/7 by following the Wareham Gatemen on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube for live games, both home and away, and SoundCloud for game highlights every single day. We would now like to welcome our phenomenal Matt Feld to the broadcast.
What's going on, Sam?
How you doing, buddy?
How are you?
I'm great. So Nate Fosnot, we just heard, middle infield today, all George Washington. What are you looking for out of Fosnot in his first game back in about 8 days? He had that minor injury, of course.
Yeah, we finally get to see that George Washington duo up the middle, which turned the most double plays in Division I this past spring. And, you know, he's someone who can bring a little bit of power to the lineup down towards the bottom, had 5 home runs this past season for George Washington, and was off to a bit of it seemed to be getting the bat going before he jammed his finger in that infield-outfield sequence back at Hyannis. So he can give the Gatemen a great glove at shortstop, a little bit of speed, and hopefully also some power towards the bottom of the lineup.
Yeah, Nate Fosnot coming into today 4 for 13 with 2 runs batted in for the Gatemen. And we just saw the first Gatemen homestand of the season. It was about three or four games back earlier this week. This is the first time they're kind of coming off a homestand, going out on the road. How does that impact the team?
Yeah, anytime you go on a homestand, you usually like to finish just above 500, and the Gatemen were one strike away from doing that, but unfortunately fell last night, or 2 nights ago, to Falmouth, and they finished 2-2. And this is a big game for Wareham. They're currently a half game behind Hyannis for the 4th and final playoff spot if the season were to end today, and they're just 2 games behind Cotuit. So a big win here can get them close to 500 and also cut a game off Cotuit's 2-game lead over them in the standings.
Yeah, absolutely. These division games obviously so important. You get 6 of them per team per season for a total of 24 division games. And finally, Tanner Dodson has come out as we saw him as a pitcher earlier in the season a little bit, and he's come out as a center fielder recently, and he's done phenomenal. He's leading the team in batting average with .364, also on base percentage at .481. What's been the key to Tanner Dodson's successes?
Yeah, Tanner Dodson, a bit of an interesting player in my opinion. He is not really a natural center fielder, it seems like sometimes. He's also not really a natural pitcher, and he just finds a way to make things work. We've seen him make some terrific throws from center field, and then at the plate the other night, especially against Falmouth, he's been very clutch. He's got good speed, he hits the ball on the ground, he seems to always put the ball in play, and when the Gatemen put him in that 2 spot, he gives them a lot of options, because when the leadoff man, either Jaron Duran or Kyle Casser today gets on base, you can hit and run with him, you can steal, you can bunt. We've seen head coach John Senn sacrifice bunt with him a couple of times, and him being able to hit for extra bases like he was the other night is just an added bonus. Dodson brings with him really that kind of Cal demeanor, very relaxed, very easygoing, never seems to feel a lot of pressure, and can hit from both sides of the plate. So Tanner Dodson has kind of quietly been probably one of the top 3 or 4 players on this Gatemen roster so far this season.
Yeah, Dodson in the DH spot. We thank our Matt Feld for his insight, and we will send it to break here on the Gatemen Pregame Live, presented by South Coast Health.
When you're sick or injured, you want care when and where it's convenient for you. South Coast Health Urgent Care has 4 locations: Fairhaven, Wareham, and now in Seekonk and Dartmouth. You can view wait times and even check in online at southcoast.org/urgentcare. Choose the
A beautiful national anthem by our very own Jacob Toby. How would you grade that on a scale of 1 to 10, Connor?
Well, beautiful is an understatement. I'd give it about a 13 out of 10. You know, Jacob, he can really hit those high notes, but he can also get you down with the low notes, changing it up from the original melody. I really like what he brings to the table as a national anthem singer.
Jacob's certainly a great singer and even better play-by-play broadcaster here for the Gatemen, as we're about ready for first pitch, as it's going to be Noah Davis, the Cotuit Kettleers pitcher, heading out for his warm-ups very shortly. Davis, a righty out of UC Santa Barbara. And what are you looking for the Gatemen lineup to do today against a really good pitcher? He's been really good so far this season.
Well, Davis has a really good two-seam fastball that works in at hitters, and even when it's working away from them, it's still really hard to deal with. And Davis is really good because he locates towards the bottom of the strike zone, gets a lot of ground ball out. So that's a really good pitcher to, you know, throw against like a Falmouth lineup, a team that wants to rely on the home run ball and hit a lot of home runs. For the Gatemen, they're not trying to hit home runs. They're really just trying to get base hits, hit the ball the opposite way, do whatever they need to do. So Davis has had success on the season, but I think what he's going to try to do plays right into the game plan, the small ball idea that Don Sneddon and the Wareham Gatemen work with every single day. So I think this is a good chance for the Gatemen offense to show what they can do against a really talented pitcher in Davis.
As the Cotuit Kettleers defense takes the field, they're wearing the classic Friday red jerseys here on the Cape League that say Cape Cod Baseball League written across the front. Also, their normal hats with the Cotuit C on them, the gray hats. Connor, do you have a key for the game, a key to the game for us today?
Well, for the Gatemen, it's about getting ahead early, and we've said this several times, but once they get ahead early, especially against a team like Cotuit that can put runs on the board, you have to find a way to defend the lead. So that's my key to the game today. Get the lead and then find a way to defend it, whether it's going to be the offense adding more runs later in the game or the pitching holding it down like they have for most of the season. The Gatemen, they need to get on top first, and then once they do that, it's important to stay on it, not let up. Don't wait with one strike left in the game and a 2-run lead to start giving it away. You got to play the full 9 innings. That's what baseball's all about.
Absolutely. There is quite a wind today. It's going out straight out into center field, so that could play a huge role in how many long balls there are today. We haven't seen a ton of long balls in this season. Both the Cotuit Kettleers and the Wareham Gatemen have kind of been lacking in that department, but with this wind, it's certainly possible. With 387 out in center field, it's certainly possible that the home run could be the primary source of run scoring today. And what has Tanner Dodson done since he got off to a little bit of a rough start on the plate, but he's really improved. He's up to the best average for the Wareham Gatemen. What is the key for Tanner Dodson? He all of a sudden looks like he's the best hitter in the lineup.
Well, he is one of the best hitters. He does a good job of just stroking the ball the opposite way, you know, situational hitting with 2 strikes. He's also a pitcher. So when you're a pitcher, when you know what kind of pitches are going to be thrown in what sorts of situations, it really helps you at the plate as well. We see catchers can be successful hitters, pitchers can be successful hitters, and Tanner Dodson, he's playing the DH today, but we've seen his arm out in center field. We know what he can do. He's been great all around for the Gatemen.
He has a cannon. He waits on deck, but batting first for the Gatemen is going to be Kyle Kasser, who steps in from the left side. The Gatemen in their visiting navy blue uniforms with red numbers, that big red W on the left chest. Pitch comes in. It's low from Noah Davis, a fastball. And we are underway here in Cotuit. Game number 16 for Wareham this season. And the righty Davis kicks and delivers the 1-0. Driven out to center field. Coming on is the center fielder Janista, and he makes the play for the first out of this game. So Kasser is quickly retired on a flyout.
Well, the first strike he sees, he takes it for a ride, and you know, sort of relying on the wind, he just popped that one up a little bit, took his head out on the swing. Could have driven that ball into left center field, but instead just floats it up.
Certainly an aggressive start to this game for the Wareham lineup. Tanner Dodson, the guy we were just talking about, both with Matt Feld earlier and Connor just now, steps in from the left side as well. Pitch on the low corner, maybe the inside corner, and he's down 0-1. Tanner Dodson coming into this game 8 for 22 on the season. And he waits for the 0-1 from Noah Davis. It's up high on a change-up looking pitch, and the count now even.
Yeah, for the first time today, Sam, the season for the Gatemen, you're getting live pitch speeds right on the scoreboard out here at Lowell Park. It'll be a little easier for the Gatemen and for us here to determine which pitches are being thrown.
That is quite a advantage here. This one's fouled away on the 1-1 pitch over the Cotuit dugout and out of play. Parking lot here in Cotuit right up against the field, and could be a rough day for some drivers here who didn't position their cars well enough. As Dodson now behind in the count, 1-2, one out here in the top half of the first. The DH waits from the righty, Davis. Two-seam fastball is fouled away. That one clocking in at 87.
The last one was at 88, and that's a pretty good speed for his regular fastballs at around 92. And that two-seamer comes right around at knee level. Dodson fouling those last two-seamers away. There's really not much you can do with that pitch. That's why Davis is so good. These Gatemen hitters, they really have to wait for Davis to make a mistake, throw that one up towards the letters.
Dodson with 3 RBIs flies this one out the other way into the gap. Going to be a long run, and it's going to drop for a base hit. Dodson rounds first. He's on to second with a stand-up double with 1 out here in the first inning.
Really good piece of hitting by Dodson right there, and there was the two-seam fastball again. It was a little bit up in the zone, and that's exactly what Dodson and hitters like McIver, who are up now, and the rest of this Gatemen lineup should be looking for. There's not much you can do with that two-seamer towards the knees. You just got to foul it off, live to fight another pitch. Dodson exemplified that perfectly right there.
A key Western Division game in the making right now. Now, the Gatemen have the first runner in scoring position here in the top half of the first. Dodson waits on second as Willie McIver steps in, one of the most consistent hitters for Wareham this season. He's the first righty batter of this lineup, and he takes the pitch from the stretch. It bounces off the catcher and out of play. Advancing to third is Dodson. He has to stop there as the ball went over the fence. And that might have been a break, potentially, for the catcher, Dillard, as that ball could have gone anywhere. Dodson might have had a chance to come home, as there was a lot of space behind home plate here in Cotuit. As now the lead run 90 feet away at third base. It's Dodson. He does have speed. McIver waits a 1-0 pitch. That one right up the middle, grounded to the shortstop. Cone over to first, and to Tolia, and the second out of the inning. Remaining at third is Dodson on the play, as McIver unable to get that ball out of the infield.
Well, I mean, that was perfectly played right there by the Cotuit defense. Once Dodson got over to third, they had to bring everybody in, including the middle infield. It was hit directly to the shortstop, Cone, and he did a good job of looking back Dodson to third base, making go on to first in time.
Bonfield to chase out of the zone that kind of started off on the outside